Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse today, Friday, January 30th, 2026. Now, we've been covering the Alexander Brothers trial. Today, it's off. We're going to be covering Mangione at 11 a.m. But on the day off, we've managed to put out the first ebook of the series. It's called Hampton Horror, from Zac Efron's loft to Seaplane to Sag Harbor. But it has not just what happened in all the way from arrest to the bail hearings, to the pretrial hearings, to the subpoenas about things in Ukraine, but it has some extras, including one that we're going to read at the end of this vlog. Teaser alert. We're rushing because Mangione starts, and we're going to be there putting it out. Yesterday, of course, in the MDC, as many reported, as we reported at the time, a man showed up trying to get Mangione out of the MDC, saying he was from the FBI and had a court order. He didn't. He did however, have a barbecue fork and a pizza knife. Anyway, he's been detained. But we should be seeing Luigi in court today. So watch this space. Here's a case. We're going to go financial even before we turn the corner, because Bank of America has been sued here in the SDNY. And although they sought to get it dismissed yesterday, Judge Jed S. Rakoff has allowed the case, at least on 2 counts, to go forward. These are enabling sex trafficking and benefiting from sex trafficking knowingly. So that doesn't mean that they're guilty of it, of course. It's a civil matter, but it didn't get dismissed, and so, ouch. Now, we've raised this issue, not just of Bank of America, but of J.P. Morgan Chase. We've raised it to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency and to the Federal Reserve, and they've done absolutely nothing about it. Despite all the talk of commitment, this drilling every day is a real problem, but it is what it is. It's icy out here, icy conditions. We'll stop here at the bus stop as the bus goes by. Speaking of the Federal Reserve, as one does, Kevin Warsh, nominated. Kevin Warsh. As new Fed chair. We've got some cops on the corner. Serious coppage. We'll go by. Okay, so Kevin Warsh for the Fed. Will Powell stay on the board? Will Jay Powell remain just to fill the seat, or will there be another opening? All I know is that the Fed needs serious reform. This idea that they claim to have no documents at all, about Silicon Valley Bank being on the board of the San Francisco Fed. Either there's a FOIA. Yesterday they tried to split a FOIA of us to remove from expedited processing a question about Stephen Kalk, convicted in the SDNY in 2021, and somehow still allowed to have to be involved with a bank. And now he's setting up a trust with a guy who's involved with another bank. Big problems. We also yesterday, and we streamed the whole thing, albeit some focused on the nose, Antonio Guterres' final beginning of the year press conference at the UN. It was an absolute travesty. There was not a single question about the UN's underperformance, nothing about UN corruption, nothing about budget cuts, just softball questions about, some reporters asked about the Kurds because they're a report for Ruda Media. Some reporters asked about, it was just an absolute joke. It made it appear that Antonio Guterres is this world statesman when he's done nothing. Now, Susan Malcorra is running, and she's beating the drum. We're going to write a story about that, if not today, over the weekend. What would any of these candidates do to end UN censorship? That is our question, and we have to know. Now, before my hand freezes, and before Mangione begins, this is from the new book known as Hampton Horrors. This one is called Cases, so it's not just about the thing. Most of it's about this, but this is about more than that. So I'll pull in here. Here we go. This is actually, most of it's not first person, but this one is. I stood outside the MDC while Epstein held court all day in counsel's room. I tweeted in 40 folios Maxwell's 4 victims, some with real names, some without, described interlock and grooming, weird times on Zorro Ranch. I stood among the streamers, some who shined with baby oil, and wrote NYPD Diddy, that's right down over there, on stop signs as they slept in tents to get inside to see Kid Cudi. Puff got 50 months, a Netflix doc by 50. These brothers don't even get that, despite more counted victims. And so this little book, for now, on Google Play. Okay, there it is. If this is the last vlog of the weekend, have a good weekend. To be continued. Mangione, coming soon.